All right, check, radio check. Want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules. The question I'm going to pose to the audience before I go to the next screen is, your most valuable asset. Go ahead and type into chat what everybody thinks it might be. There is no right or wrong answer. I have my opinion. I'm going to share that today, but go ahead. This is audience participation. Type in an answer into chat, and once I get a few of them, then I'll proceed. So health, my home, both are important. What I'm going to share with you today is what I think is something sometimes it's overlooked. I believe it's your ability to earn an income. And at a very early age in my career, one of my best friends was hit by a drunk driver and became a paraplegic. He went on to secure a career, but it opened my eyes as to how fragile we are as human beings. So if we had a three-legged stool here, and you became sick or you became injured, obviously death is all, that's always unexpected and sad and can disrupt a household financial plan in the future. But if you get sick or injured, all your other financial plans can probably get put to the aside. So what I've heard folks say over the years, and one of the things where, one of the reasons I wanted to sort of promote this call today is they'll say, or the way I frame the question is you get to pick one of two solutions, and which one would you pick? In option one, you have the ability to earn, and just in this example, $100,000 a year. But if you get injured or sick, or ill, I spell ill wrong, you get zero. And that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna fix that. I went through and I said, I was going through and cleaning that up, so that just bugs me. Anyway, if you get sick or ill, not all, ill, you'll get zero. Okay. But in option two, right, you could get $98,000 a year. You get paid $98,000, but if you got injured or sick, you would get 60% of your income tax free. And without an income replacement plan, if you become sick or injured, all of your other financial plans can and probably will get put aside. So one of the things that I've heard over the years is where I sort of got ahead of myself is, yeah, but I have group long-term disability at work. While group long-term disability provides a nice foundation for an income protection plan, it often leaves employees with less coverage than they realized. We will explore the five shortcomings of group LTD that most individuals, including highly compensated employees and even HRs, are not aware of. You got benefit ceilings, exposed income, tax erosion, the definition wall, and career mobility. So when we look at the benefit ceilings, over 80% of group long-term disability plans designs are 60% to 5,000 or 10,000. So if you're earning 300,000, that's roughly 25 grand a month. 60% of that is 50 grand a month. But these long-term disability plans that employers typically cap out. So consider an individual earning $300,000 a year, a group LTD plan that covers 60% of income with a monthly cap of 10,000 only provides the insured with 40% of their income. If the benefit cap is 5,000, the insured is looking at only 20% of his or her income being replaced. So think about that. If you became injured or sick, and I have a client that recently, was diagnosed with long COVID, and she ended up going out on disability. And it's been, she just at the beginning of this year, the employer laid her off and basically and said, hey, she was on disability, but they hadn't classed it as a disability. So she's stuck, right? The income, and she's young, 56, 57. And, and to have not only lose your job, but to lose the income, not because they're downsizing, but because of sickness or illness, that's trouble. Now, the exposed income, most group long-term disability plans do not protect bonuses, commissions, incentive compensation, or K-1s for self-employed, right? So if you're $100,000 base, $150,000 incentive compensation, long-term disability plan, 60% to $10,000. Long-term disability equals $60,000 per year or 20% of income. So what does all that mean? So to put this in perspective, consider an employee is earning a $100,000 base salary with $150,000 in incentive compensation, bonus, commission, stocks, grants, etc. With the group long-term disability plan, 60% to 10,000, the group LTD plan would only provide the 60,000 per year or 24% of the employee's total income. And this is where I think people that, nobody wants to get sick, ill, or injured, but to add insult to injury, you don't realize it till to realize what your comp is made of, how the employer or their plan that they've purchased that you thought you were covered doesn't cover as much as you thought that it did. So the other aspect is tax erosion. So, because most employers deduct the cost of their LTD plan as an employee benefit, any benefits paid to the employees are taxable, resulting in benefit tax erosion. A group LTD plan with a 60% benefit can result in a net benefit to the employee of 40 to 45%. This is very important to keep in mind when planning. So here, the 10,000 and you turn around and you're a 40% tax bracket and, next thing you know, you're netting 6, maybe it's even less than that, right? It's below 5, maybe even 4, just depending, because taxes, when you own disability. So always think of it like this. If you take it as a tax deduction, you cannot receive the benefit tax-free. So I was trying to let Irene in. She seems to be having problems. So you cannot take a benefit tax-free. So if the employer is taking it as a tax deduction, cannot take it tax-free. That's why in the example that I talked about in the first slide, is when somebody owns it individually, if they're paying for it 100,000, they don't take it as a deduction. They only net 98. That's the premium, the differential. But that benefit all comes to them tax-free because they paid with it with after-tax dollars. It's very important to recognize that. And then the definition wall, and this is something that got taught to me early in my career, and I never really understood it until the surgeon example was given to me. So most LTD plans use a split definition of disability, where the definition of disability for the first 24 months of a claim is unable to perform the material and substantial duties of your own occupation, which is the strongest disability available. So when we're offering it to doctors, to white collar professionals, one of the things that we will always say, you need an own occupation definition. But what happens is after 24 months, unfortunately, then it changes to unable to perform the material and substantial duties of any occupation based on your education, training, or experience. And so, which is the narrowest, worst definition of disability available. Think of a surgeon who can no longer perform surgery. So, that's what they were basing it on. And then, due to hand tremors, however, could manage a medical practice, or an attorney who can no longer litigate cases, but could practice contract law. So these companies won't pay if you're able to do the other functions. And that's where it can be extremely, restrictive. And so as this was taught to me early in my career, and I would try and let people know, hey, this is the type of contracts you want, that we want to make sure that should you go out, like I told you, my buddy who was hit by a drunk driver, imagine, that they still deemed him able to answer a phone, even though he was quadriplegic. right? That's how the insurance companies, unless you have an own occupation definition, could think about a claim. So you have to be cognizant of that. This split definition of disability leads to 40 to 55% of group LTD claims being artificially closed or not paid. Then career mobility, right? So the average American will have over 10 jobs during their lifetime. Most group LTD coverages lack true portability. And then, the solution, and this is just really just to help you to keep it in mind. I don't talk often enough to clients about long-term disability. But recently I had a client that, like I said, went out on disability, and we had, in our planning over the years, had put a life insurance policy in place. And one of the things that, out of habit, I always try and put in there when I can is a waiver of premium. And that says, hey, if you go out on disability, at least they're going to pay for the benefit of the death in the event that you become sick or unable to pay the premiums due to a sickness or an illness. And thank God I put that on there for that client, because that client now, at least, although they've lost their job, that they're dealing with their health issues, they know that, hey, they have a plan in place, and they don't lose one of the most other important coverages, which is a death benefit. So individual DI can be used to fill in the gaps inherent to group LTD plans, allowing individuals to obtain the tax-free coverage that they need through a plan that would provide the strongest definition of disability and can be taken with them throughout their working career. So it's portable. So it covers all these things. It breaks through the benefit ceiling. It protects all the earned income. It's tax efficient, tears down that definition wall, and it's mobile. So folks, these calls are typically, like I said, 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the topic. I know I went a little quick there, but it is important. And if you know anybody, or maybe you're watching on LinkedIn at work, give us a call. Let us know. We're happy to help. Lastly, I want to know everybody to know that, and Caitlin's going to put into chat right now a registration link. So let's talk about this for a moment. I'm doing a class over at Rutgers. I'm going to be in the South building, so I'll be on the bottom floor. It's a fabulous facility, but I'm specifically doing this on a Saturday morning. Now, Saturday morning, April 20th at 9 a.m., it should take about an hour. Talking about, Social Security and how it's a very key component of our overall retirement plan, and when to claim. There's so many rules and nuances and things that we have to take into consideration. And this is what we always say: is you cannot take your neighbor's, your coworker's opinion on when to take Social Security. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't think Social Security is going to be there. I think the government's going to be bankrupt. I want to get my money now." But that might be the right answer for one client, but maybe not for another. So you can't make these Social Security claiming decisions in a vacuum. So now remember, that room that we're going to be in, I picked that room because it's easy to find. There's parking there. You can get into it. You can. There's plenty of room, but they only seat 60. Our mailing is going out next week to the public. If you decide that you want to register for this, you're welcome to attend. But understand, because it's 60 people and it's limited, please don't sign up and not show, because you're taking a seat away. I'm telling you that this is a topic that I absolutely will be at max capacity. So I would encourage all of you to, if you want to attend, you're more than welcome. You get first rights, but please attend. And if you do sign up, please show up. With that, I want to thank each and every one of you. And again, everybody, your prayers for Lisa. She's been a long-time client of mine. Friends, both Tim and Lisa are dear to my heart. And again, she's going through some challenges, but she's gonna get through this. And we're here if you need us, Tim and Lisa. So guys, have a great day. Here are my disclosures. And if you need us, reach out.